But let's move on to the state your case, man. I don't have a case to state this week. This is all you. This is all you.
All right.
You have an
I'm
interesting
gonna
about week 1. So I'm gonna give you the floor. Nathan-Ackerman, state your case.
I'm going to make this relatively brief, and then I'll let you weigh in because we are running a little late. But I'm gonna take you back to 4 games, right? Week 1, 2016. Okay, USC loses to Alabama 52-6. Okay, Alabama's a very good football team. I won't argue that. That game should not have been 52-6. Okay, 2017, Week 1 again. Central Michigan versus SC. Right, the Trojans win, I think, by 14 points or something like that. The game was tied 21-21 going into the 4th quarter. That's not okay. That should not have happened. That game should have been way more of a blowout the whole time than it was. Okay. Week 1, 2018, USC plays UNLV. Okay, USC wins by, I think, again, 2 possessions, something like that. USC is winning 19-14 going into the 4th quarter. Okay, not great. That game should have been a blowout again. Week 1, 2019, USC beats Fresno State. Not a great team at that point. 31-23. Okay, that game was close the whole time. USC only won because it got an interception late, inside of 2 minutes, when Fresno State was in the red zone. Okay. We know that USC starts slow, okay? Now let me get you to a different game. I think it was week 11, 2019. USC played Arizona State, okay? USC wins the first quarter 28-7. Keaton Slovis throws for 297 passing yards in the quarter. After that, Arizona State outscores the Trojans 19-3. USC wins 31-26 because of another late interception by Christian Rector when Arizona State was threatening to take the lead, okay, late in that game. Jaden Daniels did not play in that game, okay? Why am I saying all this? Arizona State, USC, week 1 is going to be a dogfight. And the reason why is that USC, as I just pointed out, has started slow each of the last 4 seasons under Clay Helton, okay? Arizona State is probably the 2nd best team in the Pac-12 South. Jaden Daniels did not play in a game that Arizona State still almost beat USC in, which means that USC is going to be in trouble week 1. I'm not saying that they are for sure going to lose. I'm saying that people are overlooking this game way more than I think they should be. This game is dangerous. This game could derail USC's season. They need, if USC starts as slow as it did the last couple of years, they are going to lose because Arizona State's going to capitalize.
Interesting. I will say this. Don't expect this team to proceed in the same way that they've done in the past. And I know the best indicator for future performance is past performance, but there's something different about this team. And when you have a team that starts slow, it's because they didn't prepare well enough in the offseason. You see lazy penalties, you see silly mistakes, you see some of the things that you master throughout the season that the best of the best teams, right? When we think about the Alabamas, the LSUs, the guys who have coaches who really get in your ass in the offseason to make sure that you don't make that mistake even come week 1. USC lacked that in the past. Now ask me who they hired this offseason. Todd Orlando's not going for that, man. Todd Orlando is not going for that. And I think when we look at the offense again, part of me almost feels like we take it for granted because the offense was so good last year that we almost give it a foregone conclusion that the offense is just going to be good this year. But any mistake that I see or I anticipate for this USC team is probably going to come on the defensive side of the ball. But when you have a guy like Todd Orlando, even though he hasn't had the time to implement the things that you might want him to implement, you're not going to get laziness out of Todd Orlando's players. Never that. You're not going to get silly mistakes out of Todd Orlando's players. Never that. You're not going to get mental errors out of Todd Orlando's players. Never that. That dude's going to get in your behind from the jump all the way up until week 1 to make sure, like he said in interviews, in these press conferences, I'm going to bring these guys through the ringer and make sure that even come the first time they step on that turf for the first game, the opening kickoff, they are ready to compete at a high level. I have confidence. I have the utmost confidence in Todd Orlando to do that, man. So I'm not sure that they start as slow as they have in years past, simply by product of the guy that they have somebody on that field now that's setting the tone to make sure that they pursue excellence and perfection even before they step on the field week 1.
When was the last time they ran into a quarterback like Jaden Daniels?
I would say Justin Herbert was probably better than Jaden Daniels, so that time last year.
But Justin Herbert wasn't quite the dual threat quarterback that the Trojans always seem to struggle with, right? And I get that this is a totally different defensive scheme, right? But we're talking about two things that have plagued the Trojans for the last couple of years are stupid mistakes and okay. Sorry, let me rephrase.
Go ahead.
The Trojans have been plagued by stupid mistakes for the last couple of years, and now, as you just said, Todd Orlando doesn't have all that time to implement the scheme, but have the Trojans run with it now, right? So they're going in with a defense that's going to be totally new. Obviously, a different coach who's going to bring them through the ringer, whatever he said. But the same players that at sometimes have cost the Trojans, valuable yards, penalty yards by unnecessary roughnesses, late hits, whatever. How can I be confident? How can I be so sure that isn't going to happen again this season?
Hey, man, that remains to be seen. But unfortunately, we've run out of time on this